What if I told you that you don't need gold in your portfolio? Would you believe me? Probably not. And I get it. We've been so conditioned to hearing the experts say, but you must have some gold as a hedge against inflation, that we take it as gospel truth. We just believe it. So we wanted to tell you the actual truth. And we ran the numbers. We took 30 years of real Indian market data and we created 4 portfolios. 2 of them with gold and 2 of them without. And we then stress tested them across 242 different investment windows to see what gold actually did and didn't do to a portfolio. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what your portfolio would have looked like without gold over the last 3 decades. Whether gold actually improved your returns, whether it protected you during crashes, and then the choice is yours. Do you add gold or do you ditch gold? So, are you ready to dive in? I find gold really confusing. When you buy a stock, it gives you ownership in a business that generates a profit. Usually. A bond, on the other hand, that pays you interest. But gold? That has no real value. The value for gold comes entirely from what the next person is willing to pay for it. And sure, you can argue that gold is finite, there's a limited supply, sure, and that is a factor. But it's mostly the story around gold that gives it the value. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, if you buy a Rolex or a painting, both of that works on pretty much the same principles too. But it means that you have to evaluate gold a little differently as an investment. You should look at it based on what it does to your portfolio. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So here's what we tested. The 4 portfolios that I mentioned. We took the period from April 1996 to April 2026. 30 years of data to analyze. Portfolio A had Indian equity, debt and no gold. Portfolio B, Indian equity, debt, but we also added 10% gold. And for the other 2 portfolios, just for kicks, we threw in some US equity into the mix too. So portfolio C had Indian equity plus US equity and debt but no gold. And portfolio D had Indian equity, US equity, debt plus that 10% allocation to gold. And what you see on the screen will tell you what we use to calculate all of these returns or the proxy for those as well. So the Nifty 500 TRI was used for Indian equity, the S&P 500 TRI for US equity in INR, the post office 1-year time deposit rate for debt, and the RBI monthly average gold prices. We also rebalance these portfolios annually at the end of every December, and we did not consider taxes. There are a few more things to note before we get into the results. That 10% number. That is a gold allocation that we tested. Not 40% or 50%, just 10%. And there was an intention behind that because most investors don't really load up on gold. Sure, they might have gold jewelry lying in their cupboard or bank lockers, but that's usually for consumption or as something to pass on to the future generations. As a financial investment, we often forget gold. Also, we are not going to load up on gold for this data crunching just because it had a great run recently. We are not chasing recency. That would be a mistake. So the question is what gold can do for you at a sensible, disciplined allocation. 30 years of data and we are not even cherry picking anything. So the first question is, did gold make you more money? Over the full 30-year period, yes, portfolios with gold ended up ahead of the ones without it. And this chart shows you the CAGR or the compounded annual growth rate of these various portfolios that we tested. But you can also see the difference in absolute terms. What would the portfolios have grown to if you'd invested 1 lakh rupees 30 years ago in each of them? And I do admit that the results aren't very dramatic. We are not talking about doubling your wealth by adding gold. It's just a 10% allocation and there's a modest additional return. Also, I know that simply showing you a 30-year fixed window is just one data point. That is not enough. You could get lucky or unlucky depending on when you started and stopped. So we did something more. We broke this down into 10-year chunks between 1996 and 2026. We looked at rolling returns. So April 1996 to March 2006, May 1996 to April 2006, June 1996 to May 2006, and we kept doing this all the way till we reached a 10-year period from May 2016 to April 2026, the latest data. Put together, that's 242 different 10-year investment journeys. And that's good enough for us. And here is what we found. In 160 out of those 242 periods, the portfolio with gold delivered better returns than the one without. That is roughly 2 out of every 3 times. 2 out of 3 times across randomly starting investment windows, gold was good for your portfolio. Sure, sometimes it didn't help. When the story around gold was weak, it was a drag on the portfolio too. And that happens. But if you like probabilities, you would agree that you might be better off holding some gold always. It does help more than it hurts. But returns are only half the story. I want to also talk about what it felt like to hold gold in the portfolio. And this feeling, that matters more than we'd like to admit. See, investing might look great on a spreadsheet. There are some numbers, some ups and downs. It's simple. But in the real world, there's a psychological factor at play too. All of us are terrible at being rational when our portfolios are crashing 20-25%. I mean, just think about 2008. Markets globally fell 50%. Indian equity fell the same way too. Wealth was destroyed. And most people panicked. They sold, they locked in the losses and sat on the sidelines and missed the recovery. The same case with 2022 during COVID. So staying the course is genuinely hard when the volatility is extreme. We feel the pain. So volatility isn't just a number. It is the number, or actually the feeling that makes you do stupid things with your money. And here is what the data showed. Across every single 10-year period we tested, all 242 of them, the portfolio with gold was less volatile than the portfolio without. Every single time. Think of this as driving a well-tuned SUV on a bumpy road. You don't feel the impact as much. And gold also reduced the overall negative impact on the portfolio. And by reducing this negative impact, if you looked at your overall wealth during periods of volatility, psychologically, it would have been easier to stay invested. And then you wouldn't do dumb things. Also, there's the risk-adjusted return. Now, this measures how much return you earned relative to the risk that you took. Imagine a portfolio that earns 12%, but there is wild movement, up and down. That is not always better than a portfolio that earns slightly lower 11%, but something that does it in a calmer manner. And that is because of the feeling that we spoke about. And if you look at the risk-adjusted returns over here, the gold portfolios came out ahead in every period that we tested too. But why does gold do this? Simple, because it has a low correlation with equity. Or to put it in even simpler English, when equity markets panic, gold doesn't automatically panic alongside that. It is more independent, and that reduces the overall chaos in your portfolio. And finally, how does gold actually behave in the middle of a bad market crash? And we looked at 3 of the biggest market crashes of the last 30 years. We took the dot-com bubble of the early 2000s, the 2008 financial crisis, of course, and the COVID crash of 2020 when we all thought the world was coming to an end. In every one of these 3 crashes, portfolios with gold fell less than portfolios without gold. Of course, if you look at these numbers, you could tell me that, listen, the cushion wasn't massive. Sure, and that is because gold was only 10% of the portfolio. Gold is not single-handedly going to protect the portfolio when everything else is falling. I mean, if equity is 60% of your portfolio and it drops 50%, that is going to have quite a big impact. But that cushion still matters. And there's a way to think about why it matters too. Right? So imagine the markets have crashed. Your portfolio is down 30%. Suddenly there's an emergency. Maybe you lose income. Maybe there's a medical emergency, or maybe you just need some cash. Your emergency corpus, that is running out quickly, right? You have to now sell something. And maybe, just maybe, gold has stayed steady, then you can sell the gold. You don't need to sell equity at the worst possible moment when everything is crashing. That'll make the losses permanent. Instead, you let it stay and you let it recover. And that is not a small thing. Now, I do have to point out that gold is not a guaranteed safe haven. It doesn't always rise in a crisis. It depends on the period. But usually, more often than not, it diversifies the portfolio enough and that helps you. Now, there's one more thing that I haven't mentioned yet. And that's another big advantage of having gold. That is the dollar effect. Let me explain that. See, gold prices are linked to US dollars all over the world. So even when an Indian investor buys gold in rupees, there is a dollar impact. And over the last 3 decades, the Indian rupee has steadily fallen or depreciated against the US dollar by an average of around 3 to 4% every single year. And whenever the rupee falls, the price of gold in India gets a boost. Of course, this gets baked into the returns that we showed you earlier. But just know that when someone in the US says that gold isn't always useful in a portfolio, well, those folks, they don't get the added returns that come with currency depreciation. That is for us. So let's wrap up now and go back to where we started. What if gold wasn't there in your portfolio? Well, based on the 242 observations over 30 years of Indian data, you would have earned slightly lower returns. You would have experienced more volatility. And during each of those 3 major crashes, your portfolio would have fallen a little bit more. And in my books, that's a clear tick in favor of gold. And if you found this video useful or even interesting, share it with those friends who've been asking whether they should be the ones investing in gold too. Maybe it'll help them make a decision. And if you disagree, tell me why in the comments. And we'll see you soon in the next video.